G'day guys, and welcome to today's Supercoach video. If you've read the title, basically this video is just a beginner's guide to AFL Supercoach. I'll just go over a rundown on how to pick a team and what sort of players to look for, any sort of Supercoach lingo, so to speak, and just basically give you a quick rundown and a beginner's guide to how to pick a team and how to play the game. If you've never played it before, it took me a good few seasons to kind of get the hang of it. I'd start a team and then I'd kind of, what I was doing, so I'd stop. And it was a few years ago now that I gave it a proper crack and kind of figured it out. And over the last couple of years, I've sort of, able to figure it out and go alright. I finished 2015th last year, so hopefully we'll go a bit better this year. But so basic. So start you off, you've got 30 positions to fill. That's your on-field team where you've got 6 defenders, 6 forwards, 8 midfielders and 2 rucks. They're the guys, so whoever you have on-field, whatever scores they get will add to your weekly total. And then the other players are sitting on your bench. Whatever they score, you won't get to your end of your total. You will put an emergency player from your bench in case an on-field player doesn't play or is a late withdrawal. That way you do get your bench's score and you don't get a 0. Because if your player on the field doesn't play and scores a 0 and you don't have an emergency picked, you won't get a score at all. So, when you're picking your team, especially at the start, you've got a $10 million salary. You have to spread this over what we call premiums, which is a premium player, a guy that, for whichever position he's in, will score you a premium score. So, will regularly, each week, score consistently high scores to go towards your end of total. You don't want guys... You don't want to leave guys there that are scoring like 50 and 60 points each week. You want your premiums that are going to get you your hundreds and are like consistently averaging decent scores. You want those guys that are going to get you a decent score each week and consistently do it. There's plenty of other guys on YouTube that have videos running through specific premiums and guys to pick. I won't do that in this video because it'll probably make it go a bit too long, but you can. There's an intelligent auto pick. If you click that, you pick your favorite team and you click select and it'll just auto fill a side for you. I don't recommend doing that. I recommend doing a bit of research and finding the guys that are going to score well and picking a team from that. So, for example, if you're going to go in your defenders, a general rule of thumb what used to be 3 defenders, 5 mids, 3 forwards, and your 2 ruck to start off with, and then fill your rest with rookies because you got to look at your salary. But again, it can vary depending on what options are available. But if we do an example, say if we pick 3 premium players for down back, we'll go with Shannon Hearn, Rory Laird. Rory Laird's a year in, year out premium. He's a really good backman to have. Most people end up having him in their team. And James Sicily. So that's 3 premium guys you'd pick for your defence. You go to your midfield then. Pick, say, your 5 mids. Go to your rucks. Gawn and Grundy are your main 2 rucks that everyone sort of goes to the last few years. Whitfield, Dusty, and Heaney. So, if you look at that, these guys that you pick at the start, ideally you never want to trade for the year. You want to pick these guys because you've only got 30 trades once the season starts, and you want to use them sparingly. You don't want to burn trades because then at the end of the season, you don't have any trades left. You can't upgrade to your premiums, and you just basically shooting yourself in the foot. So when you start your team, you want to pick guys that you plan to have for the rest of the year, and the only way you want to trade them is if they have a season-ending injury. When it comes to rookies, at the moment, we don't have a great idea on what rookies are going to play, but as we get closer and you see like in the JLT and stuff like that, you have a fair idea on who's going to play as a rookie. Because Supercoach is done by the Herald Sun, there's a lot of journalists and they will release articles and stuff like that saying what rookies are going to play. You've got a fair idea then. Again, if you look at like other guys that are doing YouTube videos on Supercoach, they'll have a good in-depth analysis of who to pick. And then there's like Facebook and Twitter pages you can follow, and they're constantly posting what rookies to keep an eye on and who to pick. So rookie prices will vary depending on who they are and how high they were drafted and stuff like that. But your average price is going to be around your 117 to your 123 grand for a rookie. So if we go with, say, 123, just to kind of give you an idea with the salary cap. And then your guys on your bench. Back to your midfield. There's a few midfielder rookies that we know are going to play. Marlon Pickett from Richmond, obviously debuted in the grand final and nearly won a Norm Smith. The number one pick, I think, is Matt Rao? So he's an expensive one. It was the same with Sam Walsh last year for Carlton. He was pretty dear. Ended up winning the Rising Star and was well worth it. And then, yeah, you can just kind of, again, these rookies probably, I don't know anything about them. I'm just picking them because just to show you how to fill out the team. With the rucks, because you've got Gawn and Grundy, you're not looking to upgrade your rucks there, and I'll explain upgrading a bit later on. So what a lot of people have done the last few years is picked a rookie that isn't going to play, which might sound weird, but we use him for what we call a loophole, which is another thing I'll explain a bit later on. But for now, I'll get the rookies out there. We'll go. We'll get a bit dearer just to make sure. Oh, maybe I might run myself short here. I have. We'll just make him a 117 and then, oh geez, ran myself real short. We'll go with him. Right. So, you click save your team, and this is how you would look going into the first round. You'd have a good bunch of premium guys. Your Hearn, Laird, Sicily, Fife, McRae, Cripps, Dunkley, Danger, Heaney, Martin, Whitfield, Grundy, Gawn. Again, these are the guys you're not planning to trade. Hopefully they don't get injured and they'll stay in your side for the whole year, scoring you consistently decent scores. And these guys are known, Supercoach, the last few years, are scoring well. Again, when you're looking at picking your premium players, just do a little bit of research and just see what guys are... at the moment, they're kind of the best premiums. Guys like Josh Dunkley's only 22. What did he average last year? It tells you somewhere. I've probably gone past it. It was huge, though. His projected is 120. 120 is massive. So Dunkley, I think, everyone will pick him. McRae again, young, Supercoach fiend. Fife, guys like him, Danger, Cripps. These guys that are getting a lot of contested ball and are using the ball well, add to their stats that help them score well. I'll explain all that stuff as we go on. So again, just to go over, your premiums are who you're picking from the start that you don't want to trade. Do your research and get the guys that are going to perform well. And then you're going to pick rookies that are going to start playing from the start so they can earn your money, and that's what you want. You want your rookies to earn your money so then you can upgrade them to more premiums, and then by the end of the season you'll have a full team of premiums and you're hitting your strides going into the grand final. Rookies will start to make money after they've played their third game, so they'll play 3 games. Is it 3? Yeah, it is. And then when they play the next game, they'll make you your money. And what we do, what they call a player, a rookie who's about to make money, they call him on the bubble. So to build money up during the year, so say if this rookie plays 5 or 6 games for the year, for like the first 5 or 6 games, and he's earned you 150 grand. What you'll do is you'll trade him out, and then you'll bring in another rookie who's on the bubble, so that you've made 150 grand, and then the next week that same rookie is going to make you money, and you'll do that, and you'll build up your cash, like your salary, and then you'll be able to trade out another rookie for another premium, and you're starting to slowly build your premium team up. So that's basically the whole idea of how to get to a premium side and to earn your money. Your rookies as they play, and you'll get guys like a couple of years ago, Tim Kelly. A lot of people ended up holding him for most of the season because he was scoring well, and they didn't have to trade him. Sam Walsh was another one last year. But yeah, you'll get those guys that will get you to they'll start off as 123 grand, they'll get up to the 300,000 bucks. Trade them out, bring in a new rookie, build up your cash surplus, and start looking at your next premium. And while you're doing this, obviously each week you're looking at who you're going to pick to get in. So that's what the main goal is. And again, on the bubble just means a guy who's about to earn money the next game he plays. So you're trying to trade out guys that you've made money on already and bringing in bubble guys. What we don't like to do is trade a premium to a premium. This is what we call a sideways trade, and it's pretty much a burn trade. So say if Sicily has a down week and he scores like a 60, and you rage trade him, and you click trade, and then you bring in like Nick Flashton, or however you say it, and then you've just wasted a trade and you haven't gotten yourself anywhere because you've gotten rid of a premium and you've brought in another premium, but it's still the same amount of premiums. So it can be frustrating. You do, like, sometimes you want to rage trade, but you just got to accept that some weeks guys are going to have down weeks, and you just cop it and move on. You don't want to sideways trade out. Whoever your captain is, whatever he scores for the week, his score's doubled. So if he scores a 150, you get a 300 out of him. This can help you win games when it's close, or the team you're playing has a similar team. You pick different captains, and if your captain outscores his, then you're a better chance of winning. And then you also pick a vice captain. Now, the reason you pick a vice is if Grundy goes, like, say if Grundy scores a good score, and then Fife's game is the next day, and then Fife's out, you get your vice captain score. So you have a backup. You want to pick your vice captain on a guy who's going to play earlier in the round rather than later in the round. So if Grundy's playing Friday night, don't captain him straight away. Put the vice captain on him. If he has a great game and goes big, that's when you use your loophole. So, say if Grundy has a shit game, scores small, it's like, all right, I'm not going to take his captain score. I'll have to run the dice and go Fife or McRae or whoever's playing later in the round. If he goes big and has a big score, what you'll do is, this is how you use your loophole. You'll put Fife on the bench for a player who isn't playing that round. So keep Grundy on the ground and put Fife or whoever your captain was, or it can be anyone really. You put a player that's going to play that round on the bench for a player who's not going to play that round, and then put the captain on the player who's not going to play, but make sure you put the emergency on the player who is going to play. So what this does is, Brown doesn't play, and you've got him selected as captain, they're not going to take his captain score because he didn't play. So then you'll get the backup captain. You'll get Grundy's vice captain score. And then, because Brown didn't play, but you've got Fife as emergency, you'll get Fife score still. So you'll still get your full premium score. You'll just get your vice captain score. So that's what the loophole is. You want to take you use your loophole when you want to take your vice captain score. So you pick someone early in the round, preferably like a Friday night or a Saturday morning. If they make a massive score, you put any player who is going to play later in the round on the bench for a player who isn't going to play, captain the player that doesn't play. So you get your vice captain score, put the emergency on the guy who is going to play, and you'll still get their score. What we call a pod, a player of difference. So most of these guys will be in large percentages of teams, and where you can kind of get the edge over a team or move up the ranks is if you have what we call a pod, a player of difference. This, I'll pick Mitch Duncan because he doesn't get picked in a lot of percentages of teams, but he can score very well, and he'll be a player of difference, a pod. So say if he scores a 110 and the other person you're playing has someone and they score lower, because you've got that player of difference, it helps you edge a win. So that's what we call a pod. So one thing I did forget to mention when I was editing the video is a dual position player, a DPP. This means a guy can play in two parts of the field. So another thing I didn't explain was you can only pick players based on their positions. So see under their name, it says, so Doherty's a defender. He can only be picked in defence. He can't be picked in the midfield. Stephen Hill, defender forward. That's dual position. Houston, defender mid. That's dual position. So what this means is they can play, so Houston can play defence or he can play in the midfield. Hill can play defence or he can play forward. This is handy because if you can get a guy playing in defence that's going to play in the midfield, which Houston is, it's been pretty much talked about all preseason that he's going to run in the midfield for Port Adelaide. He's going to get more of the ball and he's going to score higher in the midfield than he is as a defender. So him having a dual position means you put him in your defence and he'll play in the midfield and score well. You're better off playing a dual position player that has defence mid as a defender, so that frees up a midfield spot for a guy who only plays midfield, rather than putting a dual position player in the midfield and then trying to find a defender to play in the defence, because a midfielder is going to score higher than a defender. So Dusty Martin's another one. He's forward mid. Pick him in the forward line. Don't waste him in the midfield because he's going to play midfield for Richmond, obviously. He's going to score well, but put him in your forward line so you've got a spot freed up in the midfield. So you see if you had Dusty in the midfield and no Cripps, then you've just got to find another forward. And you might pick a forward who's only playing forward and they're going to score lower than Cripps. So chuck Dusty in your midfield and free up that, chuck Dusty in your forward line and free up that midfield spot. So dual positions are really handy for things like that. Whitfield's another one, forward mid, straight to the forward line. Guys like Stephen and Smith, they're probably going to play midfield time, so you get them in your forward line. Again, Houston, defender mid, straight in the defence. Same with like this, if Rivers as a rookie plays, don't pick him as a midfield rookie, pick him as a defender rookie because they're harder to get than your midfield rookies. So yeah, that's just another thing. Dual position player, look for them. And so with Hill, defence forward, it kind of doesn't matter too much. It just helps, say if you had a forward rookie who had earned a bunch of money and you wanted to trade him out and the only guy that was on the bubble was a defender rookie, you would trade him to get your money and then you would swap Hill to your forward line. Yeah, anyway, I don't think it has the option just yet. But what you would do is you would trade your forward rookie who's made your money, and then you would swap in Hill from defence down to your forward line, and then you'd bring in your rookie defender who's on the bubble. who's going to make you money. So that's where dual position also comes in handy, because you can swap those guys around and bring in a different rookie rather than bringing in the same positioned rookie. And that's how you can make more money and get guys on the bubble. So that's dual position player. Again, when it comes to guys that can play in the midfield, if you can put them in your defence or forward, do that. It's so much better for your team and you'll score better. So I think that's basically just a quick rundown, a quick beginner's guide to how to start a team, what to look for, and how to get your vice captain scores and pods and stuff to kind of look out for. It's just a quick. There's more in-depth stuff that that can definitely help you. But if you're just getting started, you will pick the rest of it up. Again, there's a lot of guys on YouTube that do a lot of Supercoach content, and they can explain stuff as well. And they do player profiles, so they'll give you rundowns on the premiums and stuff that people are picking. So that kind of research can help you pick your side. But yeah, as far as I think, I'll wrap this up here because I think that's everything I can cover. And hopefully it helps you out. If you do have any questions or something I haven't quite covered, because I probably have missed stuff, just post a comment. I'll reply to everyone. There's a pretty big Supercoach community. There's a Discord, an AFL Supercoach Discord. I'll drop that as well. That's worth checking out because everyone in it's super helpful, and they just sort of like teaching and showing people what to do. And all these guys, we all watch each other's content, so they will be in the comment section as well, helping answering any questions and stuff like that, which is super awesome. So yeah, it can be pretty daunting to kind of look at Supercoaching because if you don't know where to look or how to begin. Hopefully this gives you a few pointers. Again, if you've got any questions, let me know. And yeah, happy Supercoaching, and hopefully you win the 50 grand this year. Thanks for watching.
Blueface, baby. Yeah, yeah.